Welcome to Paranormal Nightshift, your home for everything that goes bump in the dark, and your fan stories told right here. Today's story comes from Shawnda, and it is titled Keller's Chapel. Before we get into tonight's story, I want to let you in on something special. Ever wanted to get a jump on the paranormal action? Crave more chills, more thrills, more unexplained phenomena? Well, now's your chance. Become a member of our Patreon and get exclusive access to our early episodes. That's right, a whole week before anyone else. Not only that, but our Patreon episodes are completely ad-free, so you can dive right into the creepy without any interruptions. But that's not all. Patreon members also get a front row seat to our brand new ebook series, Paranormal Time Traveler. In this thrilling saga, our time-traveling investigator journeys back in time to explore the strange and unexplained stories submitted by you, our amazing listeners. So, if you're ready to take your paranormal obsession to the next level, head on over to Patreon and join the Paranormal Nightshift family. You won't want to miss what we have in store for you. Our Patreon link is in the description, or visit patreon.com/Paranormal Nightshift. Now, let's get into tonight's story. The name Keller's Chapel was a whisper carried on the wind, a chilling tale that seeped into the marrow of every local kid. It was more than a ghost story. It was a living, breathing entity, a dark heart beating in the underbelly of our small town. The legend spoke of a mother driven mad by grief, a child lost to the depths of the earth, and a gateway to the underworld concealed within the crumbling stone walls of the chapel. We were teenagers, armed with an invincible sense of courage and a reckless disregard for the unknown. A crisp autumn night, with its promise of crisp air and starlit skies, seemed the perfect backdrop for our adventure. We piled into my dad's old pickup, the trunk filled with flashlights, cameras, and the remnants of a half-hearted attempt at a picnic. As we drove deeper into the countryside, the familiar landscape began to morph into something alien and unsettling. The once comforting glow of distant houses was replaced by an inky blackness, punctuated only by the occasional flicker of light from a farmhouse window. The closer we got to Keller's Chapel, the heavier the atmosphere grew. It was as if the very air was thick with dread, a tangible weight pressing down on us. The chapel stood at the heart of an overgrown cemetery, a skeletal structure against the backdrop of a moonless sky. Its silhouette was that of a Gothic nightmare, a stark reminder of the horrors rumored to lurk within. We approached with cautious steps, our flashlights cutting through the darkness like feeble swords against an unseen enemy. The interior of the chapel was a cavernous void, filled with the echoes of our own ragged breaths. Dust motes danced in the beams of our flashlights, casting eerie shadows on the peeling walls. As we ventured deeper, the air grew colder, and a strange, almost metallic scent filled our nostrils. It was then that we heard it, a sound that froze the blood in our veins, a child's sob, a mournful wail that seemed to emanate from the very heart of the chapel. Fear, sharp and cold, seized us. We stumbled over each other in our haste to escape, our flashlights casting dancing shadows as we fled into the night. The drive home was a blur of terrified silence. We didn't speak of what we had seen or heard, the unspoken agreement hanging heavy in the air. Keller's Chapel was no longer just a story. It was a place of shadow and dread, a portal to a world we were never meant to glimpse. The memory of that night has stayed with me, a haunting reminder that some mysteries are best left unsolved. Remember, if you want to support the show, head on over to our Patreon page. Your contributions help us keep the lights on, the stories flowing, and the time traveler fueled up for his next adventure. But hey, if you can't support us financially, No worries. Just sharing the show with a friend or rating us on your favorite podcast platform goes a long way. And if you've got a spooky story of your own, we'd love to hear it. Share it with us right here on Paranormal Nightshift. You never know, your story might just become the next chapter in the Paranormal Time Traveler series and told here on the show. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled for the unexplained, your ears open for the unheard, and your minds open to the possibilities.